ẹgbẹ́ ilé tí mo ṣe mechanic wà ń bẹ̀ bọ́ ṣe máa ń tú bọ́ ṣe máa ń ṣe mo ohun mi mo ṣe decide pé ok nǹkan tí man ń ṣe yìí màá try láti máa ṣe mo explain for ọ̀gá mi pé this is what I want to do pé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ máa fún mi láyè pé tó bá ti di ìrọ̀lẹ́ máa lọ sí school Prenatal College fún theoretical aspect so màá lè máa ṣe practical níta ọ̀gá mi dẹ̀ allow mi so tí n bá ti kó níbi iṣẹ́ ní nǹkan bíi 4 so màá lọ sí school so àǹfààní yẹn mo rí pé ó really help mi gan pé àti bí mo ṣe máa approach customer nsìn ó máa yàtọ̀ sí bí mo ṣe wà lọ́dọ̀ ọ̀gá mi báwọn ọ̀gá mi ṣe approach customer bí mo ṣe máa approach wọn sìn there is a difference and the way mo ṣe máa handle iṣẹ́ ìyàtọ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ náà fún àwọn tó máa sọ pé tíyẹn bá ti kàwé pé kò lè di èèyàn tíyẹn bá ti kàwé yẹn kì í ṣe excuse pé èèyàn ò lè make ẹ̀ ẹni tí ó kàwé yẹn ó kù sí ohun gangan fúnra ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ láti make up mind ẹ̀ tíyẹn bá ti kàwé sí yẹn pé kò lè jẹ́ èèyàn kò lè ṣe nǹkan no it's not like that.
I see this work as my ladder of progress. I see it as something that if I am serious about it, I'm going to make it in life. I am very proud of this work because it's a work of an idea. It's an idea work. It's a work that you can boast of maybe when you fix a car and it's work fine. You are good to go. I see it as a very fantastic job. In the nearest future, I want to be a very great man and how to mingle with people. I like music. I want to be a musician, but at least I need something like handwork to help me, and at the same time I want to have my own mechanical company that I will be in charge, and that's all. My very advice for those that are not in school, go and sit down and think of the kind of vocational work that you can learn that you will gain from. So they have to sit down, think of what to do. If you can't learn handwork, go for something creative, create something and sell out, do business and make money. Before you know, you make it in life instead of roaming around with friends or wasting your time.
From a very young age, we're asked what we would like to become when we grow up. And you're expected to have just one answer. Children deciding to be more than one diverse thing evokes frown lines on the faces of adults because the path to being a doctor is at odds with the path to being a musician. However, there are many people who are genuinely curious about so many things around them, and to choose just one thing out of their many curiosities and interests is unsettling. they soon discover that they are bored and want to pursue more things. Some people may refer to Renaissance man or polymath came about during the Renaissance period and is the idea that anyone who applies themselves can be exceptional at poetry, arts, science, mathematics, athletics, and any other field that catches their attention. Oyindamola studied human resources at the University of Lagos and graduated top 2 in her class. Since graduation, she has dabbled into music, acting, social media manager, digital marketing, content marketing, coding, freelance UX designer, and arts.
For me, when it comes to passions, things that don't have to do with money, I work maybe, I can say once a week or on weekends. I have my easel here, so I do my paintings. If it has to do with resume writing business, I set up a schedule that enables me to work on that. I have people that work with me. Once a client comes in, there's step-by-step process. It's been assigned. We have processes. So these things, this structure helps me keeps my life in focus. Everything has a structure, and sometimes I don't like. I go with the flow as well. I can just wake up. I have my stylus pen here, and I'm just like, I feel like drawing on my phone. So this is always by my bedside table, and I can just spend like.
Ahead of Edo 2024 governorship election, a member representing Esako Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Dekeri Anamero, has cautioned against politics of turn by turn, and the Nigerian Army claims responsibility for airstrike which killed over 30 Kaduna villagers. I am Bola Oba, and this is Plus Politics. Member representing Esako Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Dekeri Sunday Anamero, has cautioned against turn-by-turn politics. He said reducing Edo State to, quote, just mere turn-by-turn politics would be dangerous for our collective polity, economy, as well as the survival of the state, unquote. Anamero, who is seeking the All Progressive Congress's APC's nomination in the gubernatorial poll, stated over the weekend when he flagged off his campaign as he charged the people to beware of ill-prepared aspirants. Joining us live is Oseni Momodu, Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity to Honorable Anamero Dekeri, Member House of Representatives and frontline governorship aspirant in Edo State. Good to have you.
Thank you so much, Plus TV. Good evening to you.
Thank you. Good evening. What is your principal bringing to this game? We now have had a number of the big and the glorious haven't declared. So what is he bringing to the game?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your invitation to Plus TV Africa. Very quickly, you have said it all. The Edo 2024 governorship election is just around the corner. And by the special grace of God, my principal, Honorable Anamero Dekeri, member representing Esako Federal Constituency and frontline APC aspirant in the next gubernatorial election in our dear state, by the special grace of God, will be bringing a lot of goodies to the people of Edo State. Of course, Anamero has been a man who stands for peace who stand for progress, who stand for employment, who stand for development, who stand for project, among others. Today, Honorable Anameru, by the special grace of God, has been a philanthropist. His philanthropic gesture over the last 12 years has brought a lot of goodies to the people of Edo State and beyond. As the gubernatorial aspirants contesting for the next election in Edo State, just on Saturday, when he officially declared interest to run for the governorship election, he reeled out a campaign program which he coined on Christian as Veteran of Hope. He christened that Veteran of Hope mainly because today in our state, Edo State, many people have lost focus, many people have lost hope. And the only hope that we are aspiring, that we are craving for today in Edo State is Honorable Anameru Dekeri. The successive administration that we have had in our dear state have really done well, but we believe very well that by the special grace of God, ours, if given the opportunity, nominated and elected as governor, he will do better. If you look at the manifesto very clearly, Anameru promised to give free education to the people of Edo State if nominated and elected under the Unprogressive Congress. He also promised on health that by the special grace of God, if nominated and elected, he will try as much as possible by way of policy to ensure that the people across different senatorial zones of Edo North, Edo Central, and in Edo South will be given fair treatment in terms of provision of facility in medicines. For example, if you listen to that program that was on Saturday, he said, he narrated a story where at a particular instance, while he was traveling within the state, there was an accident which he had to stop by to assist the victims. So they had to travel for distance before they could get, health facility. And by the grace of God, even though as a philanthropist, he has been doing well for the people of Edo State, he has promised, and I know he will do it, that health facilities across the state will be properly taken care of. The age, especially those who are retirees in the state, will also be properly taken care of. And of course,
one is just wondering all these promises of free health, free education. One is wondering if they've been costed. Talk is cheap. When aspirants, I said talk is cheap. Have all these promises been costed? Because they won't come, they won't come free. Somebody would have to pay. How is he going to generate the money to deliver these promises?
Well, I need to quickly remind you that Anameru Dekeri grew from humble background. He is a businessman. He is an employer of labor. And today, somebody who grew his business from scratch, and today he is an international business empire just everywhere. So if Anameru could grow his business from the scratch as block molding merchant to becoming produce buyer and now an oil merchant in the international business, you can be rest assured that if given the opportunity, nominated and elected as governor of Edo State, he will do everything within his power to generate, resources to be able to embark on these promises that he has made. Of course, everywhere in the world, citizens pay taxes. When they pay taxes, they use the same taxes to impute on implementation on policies to be able to drive home all that is needed. Today in Edo State, we have arable land where agricultural produce are being produced. And Amero also promised that if given the opportunity, nominated and elected as governor of Edo State, he will capitalize on that to embark on massive industrialization in terms of agriculture and others to be able to generate revenue. Again, there are other things that by the grace of God that the government of Anambra Dekeri will be able to tap into to bring out these taxes to raise and implement campaign promises.
Would you perchance know that the tax net in Edo State is one of the smallest in the South. The internally generated revenue of Edo State relative to some other states are not quite much. So I'm hearing you speaking to your principal using tax revenue, which is part of the internal generated revenue to deliver industrialization, mechanization of agriculture, free education, free health service. I think you guys need to sit down all over again and have a very tidy manifesto. Don't you think so? Hello? Are you there? Okay, we'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we'll take it on from the next segment. I think, unfortunately, the telephone line or the bandwidth has not been quite favorable to the gentleman, and it's about time we moved on. Thank you. See you after break.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on Plus TV Africa as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
For me, I wanted to change that culture. I didn't believe that until you see a white man or you see a foreigner in the kitchen before you can believe that, good food is going to come out of that kitchen.
You can leverage on each other's spaces and, sell. We believe in Nigeria, right? We believe that Nigeria can get better. We, the youth, are the ones that can make it better.
And my products are proudly made in Nigeria.
Made in Nigeria, showing every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. and repeats on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. From the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria with 351,861 hectares of land, is the authentic home of every tribe and tongue in Nigeria. The state, though small in landmass, is controversially the most populous state in the country. One of the neighborhoods in the state is Obalende, located in Etiosa local government area. The area is strategically a historic site because before the relocation of administrative capital from Lagos to Abuja, it was the seat of power of the military head of state, the Dodon Barrack. Historically, a Royal West African Frontier Force, predominantly Hausa men, were initially camped on the land where the famous King's College is situated. Then there was a need for the use of the land, and the Oba of Lagos was said to have pressured the governor of Lagos to resettle the Hausa men and sold the land in what is now Obalende to the British colonial masters. After resettlement in the purchased land, the Royal West Africa Frontier Force men named the place Ibiti Obalewade, which translates to the place where the king drove us to. Obalende, though crowded, is famous for its nightlife and for its suya sport, with a junction popularly called Suya Junction. For ease of administration, former governor of Lagos State, Asewaju Bola Tinubu, created additional 37 local council development areas from the existing 20 local council areas. So the current Obalende is carved out under Ikoyi Obalende Local Council Development Area. Ikorodu town is another historic location in Lagos, located in the northeast area of the state along the Lagos Lagoon and shares a boundary with Ogun State. Currently, the town houses Ikorodu local government area and 5 local council development areas. Kabiru Shotobi is the king of Ikorodu, traditionally known as Ayogbunre of Ikorodu, who ascended the throne from October 24, 2015. The name Ikorodu came about from people whose ancestors descended from the Remo stock of Yoruba tribe who came to settle on a plateau and named it Ikorodu, a shortened word from Oko Odu, which literally means Odu, farm. The current metro area population of Ikorodu in 2021 is 989,000, a 5.44% increase from 2020. Trading, farming, and manufacturing are some of the things Ikorodu is known for. Ikeja is the capital of Lagos State, formerly called Akeja. It was named after a deity of the Awori people of Ota, who originally settled there. The area was invaded for slaves until the mid-19th century. Ikeja, an abbreviation meaning of Ikorodu and Ekpe joint administration, was coined by colonial administrators for ease of administration. It is the official seat of the governor of the state, where the state secretariat is also located. It is also where the domestic and international airports are located. Its population as of 2006 census is 330,196. Ikeja is home to one of West Africa's largest gadget markets, popularly known as Computer Village, and home to a shopping mall known as Ikeja City Mall, which is the biggest mall in Lagos mainland and also has a cinema. These are some interesting places that make Lagos a world-class destination.
The pandemic opened the world to a new dispensation regarding work. How people work and the career paths they take differ from generation to generation. There are 5 generations present in the modern workplace, each with unique expectations and perspectives. A person's career path is described as the work they do and the roles they hold as they climb up the ladder. Before the millennium, career paths for many was simply linear, which could be a person working at the same organization and growing there till they retired, or a person working in the same role but changing jobs a couple of times. Security and staying power were the cornerstone of this career path. However, with modern technology, a person's career path can be as multifaceted and versatile as the individual wishes. Millennials now work multiple roles in their career.
The Nigerian army has taken responsibility for Sunday's airstrike that left many villagers killed and several others injured at Tudumbiri village in Kaduna State. This development was confirmed by Samuel Aruwan, the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, at the end of an emergency security meeting on Monday. The Kaduna State government convened an emergency security meeting chaired by Deputy Governor Dr. Hadiza Balarabe to discuss the incident. Let's take a listen.
In the meeting, which was presided by Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Dr. Hadiza Sabwa Balarabe, which had in attendance heads of security agencies, religious and traditional leaders. The Nigerian Army explained the circumstances which led to the unfortunate and unintended attack. The GOC 1 Division, Nigerian Army, Major General V.U. Okoro, explained that the Nigerian Army was on a routine mission against terrorists, but unfortunately, some members of the Tudumbiri community were affected. Search and rescue efforts are still ongoing, as dozens of have been evacuated to Barrow Diko Teaching Hospital by...
Joining us live is Roy Okidebe, security consultant. Roy, good to have you on Plus Politics.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Would you want to give us your understanding as a professional in the sector of what may have happened or what could have happened? Condolences, first of all, to members of family and co-villagers and indeed the government of Kaduna State. But can we get an explanation of what may have happened?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. And I cannot give an explanation for what has happened. I can give an analysis because the military has already come out to respond, and they have taken responsibility for the unfortunate calamity. But going from my experience as a military veteran, I have seen that the best and first thing to do is investigation. Now, I would like to draw our thoughts because I'm happy with the current Chief of Defense Staff with what he's doing so far for his strategic activities to upgrade intervention of insecurity parameters. I know that there are certain discussions that will be going on in different areas right now, and we need to look at a proper investigation. A proper investigation should and would carry us to different fora of understanding. Now, it is possible that we should be thinking of proper investigation into the cause of the calamity. If we have such happening, we must want to know, is it an accident, an innocent accident, or it was an intentional act? Then we also want to know, is it a careless act, or it was an unavoidable situation? You know, so when you put all of those discussions inside of the military intelligence system, you will be able to know what happened, why it happened, and why it should not happen again.
In the first place, getting the military to even own up is a pleasant surprise to somebody like me. Ordinarily, plausible deniability would have been what one thought would have been the tradition of the military. But coming out to accept culpability, that does not discountenance the importance of the investigative committee that you are requesting for or suggesting. But to you, how does it sound that the military came out to own up for this, at least the army came out to own up for this even before an investigative panel or committee has been set up?
Like I told you earlier, I served in Kaduna from 1 Mechanized Infantry Division for about 9 years, from 1990 to 1999. And I was in the Combat Engineers Unit, Bomb Disposal Squad. And I know that in the course of going for my airborne course 794, I was opportune to fly over the states and during our jumps, and the geographical spread of criminality and innocent citizens used to be very defined. Now you will know where criminals are, you will know where citizens are. And it was also possible then to be able to tell citizens to withdraw so that the military can come in and eliminate the criminals. Now, a lot of things happened in Nigeria that led to a breakdown of trust and understanding between the people and security agencies. So the people became spies for the criminals. The military themselves could not gain trust. The police could not gain trust and use these people as their open source intelligence method and channels, And this brought to the loop where the military need to covertly operate. And if you want to do that, you are scared of creating opportunities to have casualties. So all of these backlog are some of the things that could not come to the public, because the military could not openly reveal, because you don't know where the criminals have their network to penetrate your activities, like those ambushes that we have been seeing where soldiers are killed, So I believe that the government coming out to take ownership, and the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Army Staff and all those military gamuts coming to take ownership, is to create another line of trust and relationship building with the people. And I'm sure that this will increase the opportunities to rout out all the criminal elements in the state and identify their actual spots of hideouts, so that the military operations will be decisive.
We know that sometimes collateral damages or collateral calamities like these sometimes do happen. But whilst you were responding to the last question, you mentioned some very important intelligence assets. Women, as in human intelligence element asset, and OSINT, open source intelligence that using telecoms and telecommunications equipment, basic phone messages. One wonders, unfortunately you have served in the military before. Do our military agencies also function as we have, we've read widely from their equivalents in other parts of the world?
If we look at the relationship between the military and opportunities for them to generate open source intelligence and human intelligence, you will understand that there must be a center of collaboration between the immigration services, the DSS, all other police special units, that deal with information on movement of persons and persons of high interest, So you will see that these collaborations are very, very sensitive, because if you remember the case of Wadume, where there was break of communication and the military and the police had an altercation that was bloody. If you remember, there are other cases too where military convoys are ambushed. So sensitivity of information exchange has grown so thick. And I want to tell you that use of technology should have been a strong advantage. But you remember recently where an airline that took off landed in a state where it was not its destination, and that happened in Nigeria. So definitely the use of intelligence via telecommunications, via information technology, via cyber operational activities is also possibly handicapped by our abilities in Nigeria for specific, and our training curriculum abilities for our personnel. So these are so many challenges that may call into our use of the web space, our lack of opportunity to have our own cyber operational basis, our data control incapacity for now. All of those things we bottle up into handicapcy and vulnerabilities.
The military is always very, very concerned about protecting its personnel. And sometimes in the bid to do that, given what we have just portrayed now, in the backdrop of the sensitivity of information sharing and the fact that some elements of community sometimes serve as intelligence gathering agents for rebels and insurgents. Inevitably, in such an environment, mishaps like this. I'm choosing my words carefully because you can't explain away the fact that 30 human lives, innocent lives, have been lost. But inevitably, in the milieu of distrust, in the milieu of paranoia that one seems to have gleaned from your responses, it is almost inevitable that this kind of mishaps may happen again. How would you respond to that?
In operational environments, there are accidents. Now, the casualty rate for accidents is usually reduced if there was proper incident and accident investigation. So one challenge we have is our lack of closure, proper closure, and proper implementation of resolutions. Now we quickly start to raise committees. The committees, they go into investigation and they get a resolution. Now implementation becomes a problem. Now for peradventure, let's use this scenario for an example. Peradventure, it was a technology glitch. And the committee now find out that, oh, great, let me give you one good example. During the time of the Kaduna train abduction, the minister, Amechi, came on TV and he said that the train was asked to run without fully implementing security deterrence recommendation. So when I saw that, I was framed because we are quick to launch Nigeria Air, we are quick to launch a road project, we are quick to launch. We are not careful to implement safety and security measures. That is why private security is not respected in Nigeria. If you look, right now we have the Association of Licensed Private Security in Nigeria. I'm a member, and I see the whole gamut of that association holding the egghead of private security in Nigeria. And so many of us consult internationally. I'm in Texas right now. I'm talking with so many people and we are consulting on security. But will my country take from it? So if you look at the expectations that we should have, the opportunities to deter future occurrences, then we must investigate this. We must investigate those that happened before. We must put in measures to reduce to the barest minimum possibilities of reoccurrence. Once we can have possibilities of reoccurrence reduced, then we can look at human failure. Then we can look at upgrading the curriculum and opportunities of exposure for our personnel. Then we can look at possibility of criminal intervention into the process and say, was it a terrorist attempt attack? So once we can dispel all of this, we put deterrence measures, implementation, then we will say that occurrence tomorrow is to the barest minimum.
You don't seem to be, you're very discreet about the way you're making the point, but any intelligent listener can glean from your remarks that you are not too optimistic that the right things are being done with a view to unraveling what may have been the cause or causes of this unfortunate mishap. And apart from that, one is sitting there thinking, with defense taking the larger chunk of our budgets in recent times. In fact, the newly proposed budget, defense comes top. So are we just sometimes throwing lousy money at some of these things without the requisite cultural change, attitudinal change, knowledge change, operational change that are imperative for us to see a positive movement of the dial?
Let me appreciate you. I can see very well that you have the spirit of discernment, especially professional security spirit of discernment. Now, there are things that we cannot say on air, especially with our current level of training and liaison capabilities. But one thing is sure, I appreciate your last question. You know, the defense budget that we talk about, most times, if it is deployed towards procurement and equipment, it's also usually a failure. You know, because I used to tell people, if you come to America here now, you will see that the motivation of the troops, the welfare of the troops, and the other paraphernalia like health, education for their kids, accommodation, and the care for veterans when you exit, you know, those are the people that are going to hold the gun, going to fly the jet fighter, going to operate the drones, thinking about military. So if you look at your defense budget and you generate your priorities towards procurement, then you have already started to fail. Now, let me come back to where I want to agree with you that I was trying to cut off some things. Let me open up some areas. Now, if you look at why will a military operation have civilian casualties? Why? Because there is the possibility and the reality that the criminal elements being sought after live within the civilian entities. They operate, they hibernate, they cohabit, and if that is the case, do you deploy military? Because if you look at the NSA,
we have to go now.
Of Interior,
we really have to go. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Quite an interesting engagement. Looking forward to another opportunity with you. I think your intellectual persona, apart from your expertise, is very stimulating. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, throwback. Kitoye Ajasa. Sir Kitoye Ajasa was a notable first-generation person in Nigeria, known for his ultra-conservative and pro-colonial government views and advocacy for the adoption of European ideas and institutions for progress. Ajasa played a prominent role in the formation of the People's Union, the first organized political movement, not political party, organized political movement in Nigeria, and became the first Nigerian to be knighted. His career and influence left a lasting impact on Nigerian politics and society. Ajasa's conservative stance set him apart in a time of shifting ideologies and political turmoil. His close collaboration with the colonial authorities earned him both admiration and criticism, while some lauded his efforts to work within the system for positive change. Others criticized him for being too closely aligned with the colonial powers. Despite this, Ajasa remained steadfast in his belief that embracing European ideas and structures was crucial for Nigeria's advancement. One of Ajasa's notable contributions was his founding of the Nigerian Pioneer, a conservative newspaper that provided a platform for his perspectives and ideas. Through this publication, he furthered his advocacy for embracing Western concepts and traditions, sparking debates and discussions amongst his contemporaries. His unwavering commitment to these principles, despite facing opposition, solidified his reputation as a staunch advocate for change through collaboration with the colonial powers. Within the People's Union, Ajasa's influence was felt deeply. His leadership and conservative views shaped the direction of the Union and contributed to its role in the broader political landscape of the time. He was a vocal proponent of engagement with the colonial authorities and sought to leverage this relationship to drive change and progress in Nigeria. This approach placed him at the center of many pivotal discussions and decisions that would ultimately shape the country's future. Despite his advocacy for embracing colonial institutions, Ajasa was not without detractors. Many of his contemporaries criticized his conservative leanings, viewing his alignment with the colonial powers as contradictory to the growing nationalist movement. This criticism and regulations using his expertise to advocate his beliefs and principles. This dual role as both a politician and a legal expert positioned him as a pivotal figure in shaping the legal and political arenas of his time. Ultimately, Sir Akintoye Ajasa's impact on Nigerian history cannot be overstated. His unwavering belief in the need to adopt European ideas and structures, his role in shaping the People's Union, and his pioneering efforts in journalism all contributed to a complex and multifaceted legacy. While Ajasa's conservative stance may have drawn criticism, his influence and contributions to Nigerian society during the colonial period make him a figure worth studying and understanding in historical context. With the richness of hindsight and the mess which the so-called nationalists turned First and Second Republic's politicals, indeed contemporary politicians, have made of governance, can we say that Sir Akintoye Ajasa's anti-nationalism stance has been proven right? I am Bola Oba.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Chinelo Anene and I'm joined by my co-amazing anchor. I haven't seen Diola in what, 4 or 5 months?